What is going on, people? This is your boy Say One History on None Dare Call It Conspiracy, and I got my co-host in the building. It's your boy T-City on the mic here, and we're just going to be going over a few things, and we got a special guest on the microphone right now, none other than Chanel No Filter, and we're going to be discussing a few things going on right now in the world, things going on in the UFO community, and just talking about just all this craziness that's actually going on right now. So you guys stay tuned. Make sure that you actually join the group, None Dare Call It Conspiracy, and then you can also join the group The Awakened Show on Facebook.com, and make sure too that you guys like and subscribe on YouTube. But now that I got all the bare essentials out the way, we're going to be talking about, yes, Donald motherfucking Trump. Donald Trump, you guys. And the reason I say we're going to talk about Donald Trump, especially in reference to, you know, a UFO community here, is because it all ties in. It all plays a part on everything that's going on here. And it's real interesting to me how no one is not picking up on the patterns and just understanding what's happening here. So I'm gonna stop babbling a little bit, man. It's extremely hot in here in the studio here, so I'm gonna try to actually go ahead and turn some air on. So forgive me, you guys, if you guys hear the air. That's actually just us trying to stay cool in the studio. But T, what do you think, man? What's up?
Trump, the Illuminati puppet. Oh, the fall guy.
The fall guy?
Yeah, he's the international fall guy. He's just he's a puppet pretty much. He's just a pawn in this board game called chess that they're playing, called chess, this life that we live in. So, you know, I'm not surprised that anything that happens, you know, I'm not surprised at all. So.
And Chanel, what do you think right now? Just everything that's actually going on with Trump and his shenanigans and whatnot here.
I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all. I hate him. I think he's a racist, a bigot. He's all kind of stuff. But I think he's a fall guy. I think what they're going to do is they're going to let America go down worse than we did in the Great Depression of 1930s, and then they're going to blame it on him and be like it's all his fault. And then whatever gonna happen to him gonna happen.
You know what? Believe it or not, I don't like Trump's antics, but I do agree with some of the things he does. But with that being said, that's pretty much it, you know, as far as Trump is concerned. I was sitting down and I was talking to T just a couple of days ago in reference to this. Actually, just this morning we were talking about it, right, you guys? About the whole UFO and how it ties into what's going on with Syria, and then everything that's connecting with the UFOs and things like that. So I'm gonna definitely keep you guys in a loop. So let's go ahead and talk about it right now. So I don't know if you guys were watching the last time here, but the last time we actually did the show, we were talking about the fault lines breaking, and there's a major fault line that's actually broken in Africa right now. And here's my theory. I believe that the fault lines are actually breaking partially or predominantly in reference to all the booms that are actually being heard underground and in the sky right now. I believe they're doing some major digging. For what, I have no clue whatsoever. But when they're doing this digging, it's causing these booms, it's causing these explosions, and it started in Northern California, and now it's moving its way all the way over to the East Coast, where people are hearing these booms, even across the world too. So other countries may actually be doing the same thing to catch up or to actually keep ahead of the United States. What they're doing, we don't know. But with that being said, I believe that the work that they're doing is breaking up the fault lines here, unintentionally or intentionally here, and they know that they're destroying the Earth. I mean, if we look at is it Fukushima that we were talking about, T?
Yeah, Fukushima in Japan.
Okay, so if we look at Fukushima, actually happened a few years back here when those guys actually had that nuclear spill at their plant. Now, everybody seems to forget that spill spilled in the Pacific Ocean. Now, all these fish are dying. We have all, just wildlife ending up, like thousands and thousands of whales, dolphins, fish, jellyfish. It's affecting the whole ecosystem, and it's fragile and it's breaking down. I never thought this would happen, but we even have birds literally falling out of the sky now. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that's actually happening. Now, I don't know if it's in reference to Fukushima, but I know that had a part to play in it. Now, let's move forward. After all this stuff happens, now we have this situation where all of a sudden they have all of these rockets being launched into space in reference to they want to actually go ahead and put more satellites up. Now, maybe that's true to an extent, but we know that they're actually looking for other planets. We know that some of these shuttles that they're actually putting up right now are to actually find other planets. So my question to you guys here, and this is for T, and this is for Chanel too, and this is for anybody else that's out there listening here, are they looking for another planet because they know we don't have enough time or too much time on our planet as it is? Have they destroyed our planet so much that it's put us in a situation where it's literally not going to be habitable anymore? And with that being said, how do UFOs and aliens taking place with this whole thing that's actually going on? I believe that they're watchers. Some people even call them watchers. Some people even say that they're the watchers, and they're watching and they don't like what's happening. They actually use this planet too, just like everyone else. And when they see this stuff going on and they see this mass resource, this earth actually falling apart based on everything that's actually going on right now in the world, they don't like it. And I think that they're in direct contact with the governments of the world, telling them that, hey, stop this right now or we're going to intervene. And they've given them so many options. So many crop circles have been popping up just all of a sudden out of nowhere. No one's talking about the crop circle or the message that we sent out 20, 30 plus years ago that gave up that actually had the code of the human genome, and then had what humans look like, had a diagram of just about everything that would tell you about the human language. And then all of a sudden, 20 years later, let's go ahead and move back to like 2016, 2017, the crop circle came and actually it was the same exact thing, except the DNA in the actual drawing was different. So somebody's definitely got that. Somebody's got that message that we sent out in space, and then they're telling you, that they're similar to us. They're telling you that they can use this land. They're telling you that stop fucking up the world. They're telling you that, if you want to be able to travel interstellar space, if you want this technology, then you guys got to calm down. You guys got to stop destroying the earth. You guys got to stop using nuclear weapons. And I just think, man, it's getting to a point to where we're either going to kill ourselves or they're going to intervene and they're just going to take over. So I don't know. There's been a lot of interesting things happening. Syria is even saying right now that, and I know this is going to be hard to believe when I say this, but believe me, it's true when I'm telling you guys this. Syria has went on record to actually say that the U.S. government or their allies have genetically modified soldiers on the ground in Syria. So take that for what it is, whatever you think that is. Genetically modified soldiers, they're saying that we actually have in Syria. So T, what do you think about that? Because I know you talk a lot in reference to the Nephilim. You speak in regards to
definitely.
Yeah. So just tell us, man, what's going on?
What I believe is that they've been weaponizing the Nephilim gene probably for years, developing it underground. Who knows for how long they've been doing it? Who knows? They've been doing it for a while, it's been weaponized, and the Nephilim do exist. I know to some people it sounds fairy tale, it sounds myth, but just think about it. You know, all the evidence is there for us to look at and prove the existence. Look at us, for example.
That's true. And we just recently did a video. The Awaken Show did a video in reference to the U.S. government actually finding a giant R Nephilim in Afghanistan, and they shot it down. They said it reeked so bad when they shot it down, right?
Yeah, he smelled really bad. They said his blood was like a goo. He had red hair, 6 fingers, 6 toes. Massive shoulders.
Yeah, he was
bigger than mine. Like, imagine my shoulders, but like 12 of my shoulders.
He was just humongous. And I know, Chanel, you're not really into this stuff, and you know, you're just like kind of listen to when me and Terry are sitting at the table and having our conversations. But to a person that's not really into it, and then you go on the news, and then you actually hear these confirmations from the U.S. government or from Syria saying stuff like this, and they're actually kind of almost confirming what these crazy people like myself and T are saying, you know, that there may be genetically modified humans. So for a person that's outside of the loop, and for a person that just hears stuff like that, what do you think about that? I mean, is it just like, is it, oh, whatever, or, you know, what do you think about that?
For me, it's kind of like, okay, I still got to go to work tomorrow. Still got to take my kids to school. I still got to live everyday life. So if the government's doing that, okay, I get it. It's not affecting my life right now.
Okay.
So I don't watch the news because I feel like it's very depressing. You don't know what's fake, and you don't know what's real.
That's very true.
You don't know what's going on. Anyone can tell you anything, and you can Google stuff, and you can find stuff for whatever you're opposing. You can find stuff that goes for whatever you want, and stuff that goes against it. So it's hard to decipher the truth, because you can find the nays and the yays, and they're both really good arguments.
That's
I
very
believe,
true.
like in court cases too, I don't even think it whether you're guilty or innocent doesn't matter anymore. It's who has the best argument, who can fake the best evidence. That's what it's about.
I absolutely agree. And then on top of that too, it's not just who can actually present the best evidence, but it's who probably has the most money and who has the better stature. So, you know, it's a lot of factors that come into play, but I definitely agree. But okay, so it's not affecting you now. Okay, what happens when it comes over, you know, to the United States, or they start launching bombs, you know, and it hits San Francisco? By the way, we're actually in Sacramento. So, you know, are you going to look to take any measures to say, hey, if this does happen, or I'm just going to go ahead and take my chances, and if it does happen, you know, God help us with that situation?
It pretty much, to me, it is what it is. By the time they bomb you, it's too late. I mean, I can't fight a bomb. It's coming from the sky. I can't prevent it. What am I going to do to prepare for it? There's absolutely nothing I can do. If it's coming and it hits San Francisco and it goes all the way to Sacramento, I'm already dead. I'm flash boiled. I'm gone.
No, I hear what you're saying, but not necessarily. It really depends upon the type of weapon that they're actually using.
But I'm talking about nuclear energy, which is horrible, which we shouldn't even be using, to be honest with you. If it can kill us and it can kill everything on the planet, why are we storing it underground? Why are we putting nuclear waste underground? Why are we dumping it in the oceans? Why are we killing the planet? That is killing the planet.
Well, I think the people all around the world want that question answered by governments all around the world, and I even think some
and if we know how deadly it is, why do we still continue to use it?
Well, you know what, that's a whole nother story in itself here. You know, there's been a lot of people that have actually called for disarmament here, but I believe that the governments of the world are so scared of the superpowers, or the other superpowers that actually have these nuclear weapons. They're afraid that there's going to be a peace treaty and someone's going to lie and say they got rid of something, and they really didn't get rid of something. But I want to kind of go back on the Nephilim and the giants. I actually want to give credit to this.
Lots of evidence out there about the Nephilim. You could read it about in the Bible in Genesis chapter 6 verse 4. So the sons of God saw the daughters of man were fair, chose them wise, came up into them and created the Nephilim, the giants.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too, T, because I want to talk about that. Also want to give credit to UFO Mania. The truth is out there. I'm going to play their video really quick and let you watch something. This is actually, I want to say this is in 2013 or 14 that this was actually caught. And they're saying that the giants are coming out of hibernation. Now, what's the tallest person that's actually out there right now, like living? It's like 7 foot or something.
I think there's a taller guy than that. He's probably like 9 feet somewhere, but he's deformed.
They have the people that have the elephantitis, or what is it called, the giant syndrome.
Yes.
Some of them normal looking, some of them
They're
hideous.
just very big. Yeah.
So
They have the giant syndrome.
I want you to look at this and just kind of tell me what you guys think about this one, because this guy that we're actually looking at here right now is definitely over 8 feet tall here. And like I said, shouts out to UFO Mania here, but I'm going to go ahead and play this. And you just tell me what you think on this one, man. You see that?
Oh, they got him bigger than that. They got him in Japan too.
Now looking at that guy, so the guy on the side of him, he's maybe like, what, 5'8", 5'9", probably like average height for a man. How tall do you think this guy, this giant is that's sitting on the side?
He's probably like 7, 8 feet tall. About 7, 8 feet.
He's got to be taller than 7 feet.
Now, because if that guy's like 5'9", 5'10", maybe 5'8", he looks like he got to get maybe another 4 feet on him. Maybe 4.5.
Maybe he's taller. Yeah,
Could be.
Just things like that you actually see here. I know that they just actually said on the news that President Trump has actually went out. Excuse me, you guys, I'm actually stumbling over stuff. But they said that President Trump just actually went out and launched the biggest fleet over to Syria in the last 14 years. And he's actually launched an air fighter fleet, from what I understand here. So what does that mean? It means that they're going to use planes. They're going to drop more bombs over there. And, you know, why are we concerned about that? We're concerned about that because if we attack and Russians are over there, which the Russians are actually over there protecting Syria, then bombs are going to fall. And Putin has already said if 1 ounce of Russian blood is dropped on that ground, Americans will suffer. Now, he didn't state whether it was going to be in Syria. He didn't say whether it was actually going to be on American soil, but it makes you wonder. And I want to actually go ahead and look up something else too, because he actually put a video out. And I know too many people haven't seen this, but Putin or his people or the government of Russia actually put a video out showing that they have the capabilities, or it's more like a animation video showing that they have capabilities of actually reaching Florida. So I'm gonna look that up. And I mean, T, what do you think about that, man?
It's always been that way with Russia. It's always been. I mean, they'll never really come clean about what both sides are really up to. Because if you ask me, I believe both sides are controlled by the Council of Foreign Relations, and it's all about weapon sales and weapons development and paying off the people in power.
So what do you think, I mean, as far as the outer beings or the off solar I'm sorry, I'm actually at a loss for words right now. Off-world beings. How do you think they're going to look at this? I mean, because they use this planet too.
They probably looking at human beings like, what are they doing? I mean, but it's not us. But who's to say the people that in power are not humans, but they appear to be humans, but they're actually not?
It could be, but you know what? I believe that if that was the case, T, then I think that
we all be dead.
No, I think that the off-world beings would actually know that, so they would be hip to it. I want to go ahead and play this for you guys really quick. This is actually just a scene of them actually saying that Putin has sent videos showing that they can hit Florida. So I just want to play this for you guys right now. So, you know, just to let you know, this is what's out there, people. I mean, you're putting your head in the sand, you know, and you're going to wake up one morning to, God forbid this happens, but you're going to wake up to one morning where there's just bombs going off and things flying over your head other than missiles, and you're just not going to understand it. But check this out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop it right there just for a quick second, man, and interject here. So the way that they're talking, it just basically sounds like, oh, it's no big deal, no need to worry. You know, that's what I'm getting from that interview. And you know, I'm pretty sure that we keep tabs on other countries all over the world with the satellites that are in space. You know, we can tell what they're doing, and I'm pretty sure they can tell what we're actually doing too. But you know, when it comes to those dump sites, you can't see everything from space. And if they're warning or threatening, whatever you want to call it, you might want to take heed to that, because even though America says that we don't have dump sites and that they don't exist, we know that if you want to hide something, you hide it underground. You put it underground so that way it's not readily accessible, it can't be hit by bombs, and you can launch an attack, and you have underground tunnels that you can actually travel through. You talk to some people and they just completely bypass it and say, oh no, they don't have underground tunnels. But I can tell you this much: in the state of California, we actually have underground tunnels under our buildings of the state just in case there's an attack. So if we have tunnels so that state workers can get away, that I've seen, then why don't we have that for the military? It seems only logical. It seems like it would only make sense. So I don't know. What do you think?
Deep underground military bases do exist. Dump sites do exist. They're all over the world. They're in America. They're in China. The biggest one is in Brazil. And some of them are for the military, and some of them are for the world's elite. And all of that nonsense talking about, oh, they don't exist. Don't fall into that. They do exist.
So, I mean, how does all this come into play as far as with the Nephilim and the reptilians, T? Because I hear you talk about that all the time, but where do they fall in with this?
I believe that the reptilians is the main ones destroying the planet, while you playing the people that you may think are in power are posing as reptilians. If they're not posing as reptilians, they are controlled by the reptilian, and that is no lie. Just look at Africa. Look at black people in America. Look at the world. Look at all the wars that's going on. It's reptilian manipulation.
So
guaranteed. Guaranteed it is.
So you think that reptilians are actually have a part to play in the wars that are actually happening right now?
Definitely, because they feeding. They feeding off all that negative energy. The loosh. They even feeding off the bodies. You can go online and look up reptilian manipulation right now. And what is her name? Peggy Sue. I think that's her name. She's talking about when there's wars, they feed.
So are the reptilians actually the luge too? Because I thought those were different. I
think that's the energy that they feed off of, the negative energy that we give off, like when you're scared or you're about to die.
Anxious or
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not too familiar with that, but I know they feeding off of something like that. But yeah, the reptilian, man, they gotta go. It's time for people to wake up. I mean, the proof is out there. There's movies. You can check out that movie V. That wasn't a movie, actually. That was actually a documentary. They did a movie in the 80s, and then they made a newer one, and then they also did a TV series. But the TV series is kind of but check out the old movie in the 80s.
And Chanel, I see you sitting over there, and you're just
she like shaking
kind
her
of
head.
shaking her
they
head.
Talking about reptilians.
They talking about
Nephilim.
So
this is out my league over here.
Just
it's not out of my league. It's just I don't believe in.
Can you move a little closer, Chanel? I'm sorry.
I'm just like, I don't believe in what y'all believe in, so I'm like, can I go? Is it done? Because this don't have nothing to do with me at this point. At this point, it's like y'all way out there in outer space with the rest of the people, that doomsday preppers and everybody else. That's where y'all at. So that's cool. That's what y'all into. That's what y'all into. It's cool.
It's okay though, because
I mean, everybody have a hobby, and I know there's a lot of men like to do conspiracy theories. That's awesome. Aliens out at, if they exist, if they don't exist, I still gotta go to work. I still gotta pay taxes.
They
know that too. They
and
know
even
that.
if
that's part of the social control,
that's
social
right.
manipulation.
Okay, that's dope.
And it
even
sounds so absurd, and when people like briefly speak the truth, it sounds so crazy.
Yeah, it sounds so ridiculous.
People won't even take to it. They
right.
Like,
The truth is more crazier
than what you could think.
Than a lie.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
Right.
They always say that, so I do get that, but I'm just like I said, I personally I don't have an opinion, yay or nay. Nothing. I just y'all do y'all. But I still have to do what I have to do every day. I get that as social manipulation, and I get all that. But if I met a reptilian and the nigga sat across from me and was talking to me,
you probably have met one.
Well, if I met one and they said, "Hey, that's what I am," okay, nice to meet you.
Like they don't expose themselves. I'm
but
the
that's
reptilian.
what I'm saying.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
no, it don't work like that.
No,
okay,
no. So
but it wouldn't affect me. I still gotta go to work tomorrow, whether I met him or not. How did he change my life? He didn't. I met you. Now what? You want me to go tell somebody?
So the existence of another being on this earth doesn't doesn't do it for you. Is what you're saying?
What you mean doesn't do it? What do you mean?
So what would it take to get you to have a reaction of just to be at awe, just to be amazed?
Is that what it is? Is it fascination that you want? Is
No. I'm just asking, like, for you personally, like, what would it take for you to have that response, or to have that, like, because everybody has a fight or flight mechanism in them. So what is your flight or fight trigger?
You would have to physically touch me. That's a fight situation. It's not a flight.
Oh, trust me, if you really met the reptilian, he
Hold
gonna
up.
trigger your reactive mind.
That's dope, but I'm not about to. Okay, first of all, let's reptilian. Okay, he's not even okay. Whatever.
It's okay. Don't trigger.
No, because it's like, okay, so first of all, why do you want to touch me? Like, why me? Like, there's 50 million other people go that way.
Here's the thing.
And let me go home. I want to go eat chicken and do whatever the hell I want to watch Netflix.
God, Jesus, we done lost it.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care about him. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny.
Wait. Okay.
I know you're not trying to be funny.
I really not. I don't care about him.
So we basically just went off.
That's what we're saying, though. You know, when the truth
What would be
gets
my
out
awe
there.
factor? I don't have an awe factor when it comes to aliens. I do believe they exist. However, I've never met one. I don't see why they would be interested in me personally. I have nothing to offer you. However,
you think that you have nothing to offer
something
them.
to offer.
You have something to offer them, whether you believe it or not.
Okay.
It's just the way what we're looking at as far as offering. It's nothing in a million years that we would ever think they would want. So just look at it from this perspective. We're humans. They don't need anything that we need on a daily basis. What they're looking for from us is completely foreign, and you would probably never expect it in a million years.
Okay,
and I'm just being funny. I'm just being funny about this when I say this, but you know.
But like that's not an awe factor for me.
And I apologize for saying this. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail when I say this, but it's just like an alien coming to you and saying, "Hey, I need something from you," and they're like, "What? You need my blood? No, I need your butt juice." Bend over.
My question would be, can I live without my butt juice? If I can, you can show the fuck. You can have it if I can live without it.
But the point,
they got.
And the second question is, if I can live without it, you can have it. Does it hurt? If it hurts, then I need to know before the process. And are you coming back? If you're coming back, then you can't have it.
My point of saying that
keep bothering me?
is that we would never know what they want. I mean, just like T was talking about, they can literally, you know, could potentially be feeding off our fear, which would make sense because, you know, if things are actually supposed to be even and everything happens by chance, then the way the world goes, and we were talking about this a couple of days ago, right, T? Mm-hmm. That everything should be about 50-50, anywhere from 50 to 60 average as far as all the things that are good and bad that are happening in the world. But that's not the case. There's more negativity in the world than there is positivity in the world. And I think that is actually by design. And I think it's by design because somebody is potentially feeding off of that energy. Now, whether it be people, whether it be sick people, whether it actually be different entities, aliens in space, you know, UFOs, whatever the case may be, you can't deny the fact that if we are actually just going by statistics, something is wrong as far as the way that all this negativity is spreading all across the world. And that's just how I feel about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can accept that. It's fine with me. I don't have an issue with that.
I just, I don't know. I think, like, at this point in time, like, people are so over, like yourself, and this pertains to you, Chanel. People are so over, are the aliens coming? Are the aliens coming? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that?
Because they've been in that state of mind since Roswell, since the lights over LA. Was it the Battle of LA? Los Angeles. They've been like that for so many decades that it's just like, I'm over it. If they're going to take my internet, they're going to take my Netflix, they're going to take my car or something that I need on the daily basis, then I'm affected. If not, what do you need from me? So, and if I can part with it, by all means, leave me alone. I give it to you.
That's minuscule compared to the things that are happening on our, and don't get me wrong, when that net neutrality shit happened, I was up in arms about that shit. I didn't like that at all. And T can tell you that too. I was like, man, we need to stop these fools from net neutrality. I was like, man, no. He was like, yeah, but there's nothing we can do. I was like, it needs to be something done now. it was a problem.
You got a whole lot of money and
right,
good people backing you.
Right, you know, so it just with that, man, it's interesting. But another thing too, as far as these non-believers, I told myself I wasn't going to speak on it here, but I'm gonna actually speak on it. For those non-believers that don't believe, like Chanel, you know, or anybody else for that matter, it's cool. I don't knock you for that. There's no problem with you believing. You know, we all gotta believe something. You know, if you don't believe
have
that,
our different work, you know, work cut out for us. You know,
right.
Some people, they could take to it and be like, oh, for real, the reptilians, I'm gonna have to go look into this. Other
right.
people be like, what is that? That don't affect me. You know, I still gotta put bread on the table. But you know what? They socially manipulate and control everything because they know that we have to go to work. We have to provide
Absolutely.
For our families.
There's so much that's put on the table for us to do on a daily basis that we can't focus on the things that truly matter.
Okay, for all you UFO people, I do apologize. If y'all believe in it, that's cool. I'm not knocking you for it. I really am not. I'm just saying my personal belief. I am able to agree to disagree.
Chanel no filter, ladies and gentlemen.
So everybody out there that's a believer, that's awesome. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I'm just not one.
But the reason I say that, and no disrespect to you, Chanel, but the reason I say that is because I actually put up an ad on some of the Facebook groups asking about different co-hosts and whatnot, and if they wanted to be a special co-host. And someone just out of the blue just came on and just started going off, putting all kind of messages, your dumb shit.
The reptilian aspect, look at it as this: they are interdimensional beings. In Islamic culture, they're known as the jinn. You could read about them in the Bible. They're known as demons. That's exactly what they are.
Well, here's my thing is that those and I'm let's get back on that in a second. But here's my thing: if you don't believe, then don't go and shit on the next person or the next group that are actually having conversations about this. Now, a lot of the Facebook groups that actually speak in reference to UFOs or aliens or whatnot here, they usually request for you to write why you want to join in on the group. They usually document or want you to tell, do you believe or do you not? Because if you don't believe, they're probably not going to let you in their group. But with that being said, don't lie, say that you believe, get on a group and then just start shitting on everybody in there. That just tells us that you're a Twitter thug, or you're just on there because you don't have a life and you're just starting shit. And the person, they made me so upset that I lashed out at them, and then I realized I am up at 2 o'clock in the morning going back and forth with this person that doesn't have anything to do in the AM. Like, they have nothing that they need to do in the morning. So regardless if I'm stating factual information, this motherfucker is winning because he has me up at night arguing with him.
See, here's my my thing. Okay, if you don't believe in UFO and conspiracy theories, don't join the group. I awesomely agree with that. Do not do that. Let people believe in what they want to believe in. Let people share their stuff with each other that are into the same thing. But don't go in there to bully someone and to talk about someone.
Oh, he wasn't bullying me.
I'm not saying he's bullying
he didn't
you,
bully me, but he got
in there to be negative. That's
got
a
a
positive
mouthful.
thing for somebody, somewhere. That may be the only positive thing they have all day. So don't go in there and mess up somebody else's life just because you mad. You better go eat a piece of cake or something. If you don't believe in it, that's fine. Don't knock nobody else.
You got my
and now,
cornbread.
Here goes. And now here you go. You all pissed off, and then the person that's texting you don't care about you.
Right.
They don't feel your anger. They don't even know. They know you mad, but they're like, oh, okay, whatever. So you got all yourself all worked up, your blood pressure going, everything all going, and at the end of the day, you the only one that's suffering because you pissed off.
But you know what? And the bad thing about the whole situation is that he wasn't even making like an argument. He was just arguing for argument's sake. So I told him, I said, if you have a legitimate reason of why you're upset, he's like, man, you just don't understand it's just the acronyms in the bio. And this is how he's really talking. He's saying big words, but there's no meaning, but the logic of the acronyms and what they mean by the philosophy of this. I'm like, dude, do you have a legitimate argument or a reason why you're upset? I've already stated it. No, you haven't. You haven't stated anything. But at that point,
that sounds like an intoxicated text message.
Right.
Where it just don't make sense because you just all over the place. Too much wine. That's what it sounds like.
So at that point, I just told him, I said, you know what, man, you're absolutely right. You're right. And I'm wrong for trying to talk to you with logic and sense. And I apologize. And I apologize to the dude. I told him, I'm completely stupid for sitting here trying to have a conversation with an ignorant person. And I just got off the phone or off Facebook and I went to sleep, man. I woke up in the morning. I had 17 comments from him. Are you going to reply? Are you going to reply? Are you going to reply? Are you going to So this asshole stayed up until like 6 o'clock in the morning waiting for me to reply. And I just woke up in the morning. I went to work. I showed my coworkers, and the first thing they said is, don't feed the trolls, man.
That's hella funny.
Don't feed the trolls. And that's absolutely true. So if we have any lesson that we can tell you today, that would be, don't feed the trolls. Like, real talk. Just don't.
My lesson would be, did you really have a bad day or just a bad moment? And you let it ruin the whole day.
I didn't have a bad day.
No, I'm not talking about you individually. Like, when something bad happens, they'll be like, oh, I had a bad day. No, just one thing happened right now. Now you think your whole day went bad.
I don't know, man. I think we are just about done ranting and having our conversation. So, man, we're going to get off and let you guys have the rest of your day. We may have one tonight. I don't know. We'll see here. But I just wanted to get one live on YouTube to just go ahead and start building up that brand and letting people know, that we are here on YouTube. We are having these conversations. We normally have them on Facebook. So I apologize because I know the only thing you guys can see right now as far as when it comes to Facebook is just the little picture saying that the show will start soon. So next time we will go ahead and make sure that we actually do it on Facebook. So when you click the link, you'll immediately go ahead and see the video here. But I want everybody to kind of go ahead and sign off. My name is Say One History. We have T-City in here. And we have Chanel No Filter. And we just appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And man, you guys just enjoy your day. Have a happy Sunday, man. Take care.
Chanel. Wait.